perfect bushcraft shelter. It doesn't exist. So, to answer this question, we would first need to answer what is bushcraft, and even more, what is the perfect gear for bushcraft. And basically, depending on who you would ask, you would get a different answer. So, for me, to call the gear bushcraft worthy, it needs to do a few things. First of all, it needs to be multifunctional, so ideally it should have more than one use case. Second of all, it needs to be tough enough to withstand my use and abuse, which happens sometimes on purpose and sometimes it happens accidentally. And third, it needs to fit to the forest. So basically you won't see me in the forest on a bushcraft trip with orange tent. You will see me with a tarp, some sort of waxed canvas and stuff like this. And for me, this creates this essence of perfect bushcraft gear for me. But word perfect means that something is flawless. And basically, when it comes to the gear, it's always a trade-off, something versus something. So here, nothing can be perfect, but we can get very close to the perfect. And this is something that I will show you today. Whole shelter is based on Bushcraft Spain oilskin poncho, and yeah, basically it's the main element of this whole shelter. I also added Bushcraft Spain wool and oilskin ground sheet. On top of that, I have Savota FDF mat and my favorite Swagman rope. This whole setup wouldn't be possible without Bushcraft Spain oilskin poncho, so on this video I will focus mostly on this piece, but rest of the kit is also bushcraft worthy. Going back to what I said at the beginning, it needs to be multifunctional, so this shelter is also a poncho. Well, it's firstly a poncho and then also a shelter. And this is important to me because if I'm carrying something for many hours or even days, it's very crucial to cut the weight where you can. And if I'm carrying this, I don't need to carry extra tarp or extra tent. I can just use it when it's raining to cover myself and my gear to not get wet, but when I get to the campsite I can easily set up a shelter with it. The second point I was talking about is that it needs to be rugged, but this is a very fine line, because on the one side, if you make something very heavy duty, it will also be very heavy, and on the flip side, if you make something very light, it won't be durable enough. So it's a fine line when you're choosing the equipment, and like I said, if you will carry something for long duration of the time, it is worth to invest in something a little bit lighter. But for me, the sweet spot for durability and light equipment is this oilskin, because it is lighter than heavy-duty waxed canvas, but it is also more durable than modern materials like nylons or some sort of polyesters. And yeah, it has a very cool finish. It has also the metal rings on the sides of the poncho to use it as a shelter, and basically it's very hard to damage. Of course you can always damage something, but in this case it is very tear resistant, it is spark resistant, so it is perfect for bushcraft because you can have fire really close to your shelter and the sparks won't melt holes in it so easily as in, for example, nylon. So the third point, fitting into the forest, also known as bushcraft vibes. Well, I don't know if you can go even harder than this. It is oil-skinned equipment. It's designed to be in the forest. It's environment friendly. when you compare it to the modern alternatives. And yeah, basically for me it's the peak of the bushcraft vibes. So let's talk for a minute about how I set up this shelter. So I'm always setting up my shelters with a ridgeline, with plastic Pro-6 and night ice S-biners, but you can do it either without the ridgeline or you can do it with normal Pro-6, the cord style, and without S-biners. So it's up to you. It's just my preference because it's faster and more efficient to do it this way. Basically, the whole shelter is based on the lean-to on the one side, but instead of leaning the whole shelter, I'm going 2/3 of the side length and then 1/3 is extension. It creates more volume of the space inside under the shelter. Because it is oil-skinned, it's heavy, so it tends to sag a little bit. It is hard to get it very rigid, so the more points of contact you have, the better you can tighten it. And here, taking the hood, going around the hood with the cord, and it's just a normal bow tie. First of all, it closes the hood even more. And second of all, it creates this extra point of contact with the shelter that you can pull away to create even more space inside. When it comes to the extension, just take 2 sticks, drive them to the ground, go with the cord around them, start from the eyelet of the poncho, go to the ground, and yeah, tighten it and it will be okay. My recommendation is to use sticks that have branches coming out of them. It just gives you quick access to your tools, which is very nice. Like I said before, everything is some sort of compromise. So let's talk about the drawbacks of this shelter. The weight of the poncho. Basically, it is lighter than waxed canvas, but it is still heavier than modern materials. So it needs to be considered that it is still a pretty heavy piece of gear. So first of all, if you are a tall person like me, try laying diagonally in the shelter. This will create some more space for you, but it won't solve the problem, because if the conditions are bad, you need this extra space overhang above you to basically cover you from the elements. And yeah, in this size, for me, this shelter can be used only in good conditions like this one, so it is more like shelter for emotional support and less as a shelter against elements. Yeah, please, Bushcraft Spain. One piece, I don't know, 10 centimeters longer, 10 centimeters wider, and this will be perfect for me. One piece only, please. So, final verdict. Is oilskin poncho a perfect shelter? And the answer is, it depends. It's really sad for me, because I wish it would be a perfect shelter. And like I said, if you are not too tall, it is a perfect shelter. But for me, it's really sad, because on the one hand, if the conditions are bad enough that I need to walk in poncho, then for sure I will need to make shelter with my 3x3 waxed canvas tarp. And yeah, I really wish that I could walk in my poncho and then sleep in my poncho, but yeah, because of the size, for me it's a little bit too small. But other than that, I think this is a perfect bushcraft shelter.